2012 Charger radiator change. First step, 3/8 hose on the drain down there in the very bottom. Nicely coiled up, wrap through the hole down there. Get some puppy pads down around your drain pan, help catch any splash. Pop the radiator cap, then take your air filter off. This is of course got an aftermarket. I like to reinstall bolts if I can. That way you know where they're at, you don't lose them. It's also nice to have a couple options on your 10 mil. Don't lose those. But you're gonna need an 8 mil to remove these fan shroud bolts here and on the other side. You get those in the harness popped off, and it just sets in there. Comes right out. Of course, you're gonna want to use a screwdriver to remove this mounting clip, or just cut the tie wrap. I'll just use a screwdriver so I don't have to worry about a tie wrap. Quick check to make sure the 10 mils haven't walked away. One other thing to keep in mind is it'll come out a lot easier if you pull the upper radiator hose out before you try to yank it out. A little bit of a roll. Slides right out. Now that we're about done draining, you can see the cause for our concern. Next up on the docket, unsnap shields over the top. Driver side first. It's over the top of the passenger. This will reveal our mounting bolts, driver and passenger, or vice versa. And we get to use our first 10 mil. Little bracket, slide right out. Watch for the rubber shield down in there. Don't forget your lower hose. If you look really closely, a little slot here, these rivets, work it up. Slides up and comes right out onto the floor. Don't lose those. So then you got a little more room to reach in. There's 2 bolts on this side, one between the upper radiator hose or evaporator right there. I got it halfway backed out. Another one down further below. You got 2 on the passenger side. One up top, one down at the very bottom. Now the unit's free. You can squirm it on out. Remove the rubber pads. You need them on the new one. I brought passenger side up first. It's kind of the same as that shroud. Now we can do a little side-by-side comparison of the absolute monster Cold Case 760 we sourced from High Horse Performance. All aluminum. Shouldn't leak. Should also help keep this sucker cool. Now that we got the radiator out, we're going to start with the next part of the project. This official Mopar oil cooler. Step 1 will be dropping the plastic pan here. There's a bolt there, on the back here, and one on the front on the driver's side. That's out. Come under here. Pull the oil filter off. Get that sucker most of the way out. Let it drain into a pan. And then focus on removing the rest of the lower radiator hose. With the lower hose taken off, 13 mil to pull the thermostat housing. With the housing and thermostat out of the way, clean the crap off. And with that, place the thermostat. Now's a chance for a new one if you're going to do it. The new thermostat housing. Now we're back underneath, and we got to use a 12mm Allen to pull that nipple off for the oil filter. When you get your 12 mil, you're going to want to make sure you have the right depth or length. That's on the edge of the socket there. You want to go in
1/8 of an inch, which isn't quite enough to seat on this oil filter or oil cooler. You get a longer one, and that's the edge of it. It'll run all the way in there. Plenty of engagement. After cleaning off the oil filter mounting pad on the block, I'm going to mount this to it in the place of the oil filter, using this nipple as the stud to secure it. This portion of the cooler will orient it on the block. It acts as a keyway. A little bit of blue Loctite to keep it on there, and a little fresh engine oil on the O-ring to keep it lubricated so it can seat properly and seal. Here you can see what I mean about that keyway, sort of. Oil cooler stud to 21 foot-pounds, thermostat housing to 21 foot-pounds. Oil cooler back on. Time to put the radiator in, the hoses, refill, go for a test drive. One thing important to note is on this cold case, you got a couple different threads here to use, a couple different bosses, studs, whatever you want to call them. So on my original radiator, yours might vary. I'm at about 15.5. So come back over here, use this bottom one. We need to use the bottom stud up there. On the other side, comes out to right about 12.5. Same vertical tab up top. 12.5 is going to be this second from the bottom. So now we got it installed. We got the evap hooked back up using the bolts. Lined the holes we measured out before. Take and use our factory mounting brackets. Squeeze them in here. Now we got the mounting brackets bolted down properly. It's time for the hoses. Make sure you get your clamps on so you can tighten them up when you get it installed on the fitting. So this upper hose, the factory Mopar one, comes with the little yellow clamps over the clamp. So you get it installed, snap it off. And then it's back in with the fan and shroud. And with the fan shroud installed, you can see the issue I'm running into. The clip on the bottom that holds it is not quite deep enough for the fan bracket, resulting in the inability to line up the hole. My solution: use a big crowbar to open that tab up a little bit so it'll drop further down. Might seem a little bit ugly, but you know what? That's hot rodding. On the driver's side, couldn't quite get it opened up enough before I was afraid of breaking that tab off or damaging it, so I just augered the hole out a little bit with a bigger drill bit. That upper cooler hose came with this zip tie already installed, but it was facing the wrong way, presumably so that the dual fan usually equipped in these vehicles has a vertical or a horizontal rather piece of plastic to clip onto, but I don't, so I'm just going to cut it off, reuse it, and put another zip tie in there to turn it into 90 degrees and make it mount onto the vertical piece. Something like this. And don't forget to trim your tail either. With the upper hose back on and snug, we'll reclip the wire onto the shroud, reinstall the wiring.
Finally, we snap these covers back on, top off the coolant, replace the air filter, start it up, warm it up, burp it out. And if you've made it this far, you should know what you're doing. And for those that have made it this far and don't know how to burp the system, you got to crack this guy to let the air out. Make sure it's full. Use some water, some fluid. Get all the air out of there, and you can close it up. Now that you get the plug out, go ahead and top it off until fluid comes out. Got a nice little stream there. Shove the plug back in. I like a little Teflon tape on mine. Go ahead and check the oil. I had to add a couple quarts. It's probably a little low to start with. Now it's time to start it up, warm it up, take it for a spin. Got her all warmed up. Doesn't look like we have any leaks anywhere. If anything, you might have issue keeping it at temp with this sucker. So I'd say we're good to go.